Hey guys, Aubrey here. Just wanted to give you a video update today because honestly, I got tired of typing and the thoughts were just running on way too long. It was like 1,000 words or something. I was like, I don't want to do that. Nobody's going to read 1,000 words today. So maybe you will. Maybe you do. Sometimes I get to a longer article and I'm like, I'll skim over it. But I don't want you to skim over this. The last couple months, I've had the opportunity to do a number of workshops and keynotes about the topic of how busy leaders can develop other leaders. A busy leader's guide to leadership development. And I know the struggle is this, that the busier you get, the dichotomy as I call it, the two-sided thing that feels like it doesn't fit. And there's a challenge here in the middle of it that is difficult to solve, but I want to help you solve that. And it's this, that the busier you get, the less time you have extra time you have to develop leaders. The other side of that is that the busier you are, the faster pace, the faster the growth, the more imperative it is that you have great quality leaders in your team. So you've got at the same time, you've got less time to develop leaders, but you've got a greater need for them. And so in my own leadership, I struggle with this. Is how do I develop leaders? Because I've got a task list. I've got a to-do list right now that I can't, and this may be where you are. You've got a task list that you can't even accomplish today or this week. You've got way too many things that have to be done just to get the business of today done. So you don't have time to, as we all would love to do, right, theoretically, is, oh, well, let's just, each of your team members, let's schedule an hour each week and we can talk about your leadership development. We could sit down face to face, one-on-one. You just don't have time for that. You don't have time to take them through a 12-step course on leadership growth and influence. But I want to encourage you because there are things that you can do within your day-to-day life and in your day-to-day activities that you can include people in, and it can really result in huge leadership development. And the biggest thing I wanted to point out, and I'll just pull out one of the things that I talk about in the seminar, but the first thing is this, that you need to take them with you. Take someone with you. It's the biggest thing that was a part of my leadership development from my mentor, one of my pastors, John McKenzie, great mentor, friend of mine. One of the great things that I saw him do time and time again with his employees, with his kids, with everybody that he was really trying to develop was he would invite you to come along. So maybe it was inviting, for me, often it was inviting me to come to a conference with him or to an offsite meeting, or it was inviting me to come to a hospital visit to see what was gonna, how to do a hospital visit, or how to do this, or what was happening, or hear the conversation. It wasn't even that I necessarily had to have input. It was just to see it in action. What does it look like? And for some of you, listen, this doesn't cost you extra time. It's already on your schedule. You're already going to make the drive or do whatever. You're already going to be there. So why not take someone with you and let them see you do what you do? Because you can't lead by example unless they can see your example. And in a moment, sometimes in special circumstances, especially in the church world that I grew up in leadership, hospital visits were some of those really intimidating things. And it wasn't like my pastor had time to sit down with me and do a 6-week course together on how to do a hospital visit. It was, hey, you're coming with me. You don't necessarily have to say anything or do anything. I just want you to see what's going to happen here. And it was one of the greatest leadership development tactics I've ever experienced, I've ever used, and it doesn't cost you anything. It has a huge return on investment because it doesn't take a huge extra investment. That's what you need to look for in your calendar and your schedule. Where are the places where you could take somebody with you? And right now I want you to write down and pinpoint a few of those key people that you are developing that next level of leadership, and begin scheduling with them. Say, hey, invite them today. This is something you could do today. Hey, I've got this meeting. I want you to come with me. I don't need you necessarily to bring input or whatever. I just want you to come, be a part, hear the level of conversation that's happening, hear what people are talking about, understand that these people are human too, because in a few months or maybe somewhere down the road, I'm going to ask you to go and be a part of this meeting, or I'm going to ask you for your input, and I'm going to need you to be ready. So that's a huge piece. I think you could put that and implement that today, and I challenge you to do that. Find those people that are your key leaders and create opportunities, look for opportunities to invite them along with you. And here's the byproduct of that, the real great thing beyond just the practical, hey, here's how you do A, B, C. The great thing is that on the drive there or in the in-between times, you have the opportunity to build relationship with them. And that is so huge, especially for millennials, those who are in the workforce, up-and-coming leaders, 18 to 35. That is so important. Relationships are number one for them. If they know that they are cared about, if they know that they are valued, if they know that you care about them beyond just the input-output side of your business, you are going to have devoted and loyal team members and great leaders. So take the challenge, do it today. I'd love to hear your stories. You can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook at AubreyMC, Facebook/AubreyMC, and I hope to hear from you soon. Guys, take courage, be brave. I'll talk to you later.